Welcome back, Wolfpack. Vrolas here, and this is how to use Zebstrika. Now, on the surface, just looking at those stats, pretty solid sweeping stats. I mean, those are a little more than good enough. So 116 on the speed gives us actually quite a bit of options. That we can still run something like an Adamant Nature and outspeed base 100 speed Pokemon, or we can just, run the Jolly, get a ton of outspeeds, and still get a decent amount of damage because of that 100 base attack. The rest of Zebstrika, it's okay. 75 base hit points, 63 on defenses, not really looking to survive too much, and our special attack, not really as usable as our attack, and there's just kind of points floating around there. Now here's the thing about Zebstrika, it's an electric typing, and trends in electric types go like this. They have pretty bad physical coverage, so that's already a strike against Zebstrika, and Zebstrika doesn't have Fist, so it's not even going to be able to get Thunder Punch. On top of that, they also have very, very limited coverage. So while the typing's excellent, the typing on its own, defensively, you only have to worry about that one weakness, you get a good amount of resist, and it's going to be a decent offensive typing, just hitting a good amount of things. But at the same time, your coverage outside of that isn't going to be great. So let's hop into Pokemon Showdown, and I'll show you what I mean. So the rest of Zebstrika's kit, really, really promising. This is what I was talking about. Adamant Nature, we max out, we get a good amount of attack, we can choice band it, we can get a lot of damage on top of it, and we're still outspeeding base 100 speed Pokemon because of that 116 base speed. We also have really good ability coverage. Sap Sipper, Lightning Rod, or Motor Drive. Sap Sipper, if you're hit by a grass type attack, your attack is raised by 1, which is, okay, now we're more physical. Lightning Rod, if we're hit by an electric type attack, our special attack is raised by 1. So that gives us a little bit of special options. And Motor Drive, if we're hit by electric type, we gain speed. So whatever we want, whatever stat we want, we run that ability, we look for that move coming in, and then we're good to go. Zebstrika has great synergy with water type Pokemon, because those are the weaknesses, or anything that's going to be weak against what you're running. Sap Sipper, nice to have it with ground and rock, and then if you have flying type Pokemon, then it's good to have the Lightning Rod and Motor Drive, and then you can deal with threats really well until you realize that physically, you got nothing. You have Wild Charge. This is the most powerful physical attack that it's going to get. Besides Return with 102 base power, this is going to be Wild Charge. It's going to get Stab, it's going to have an okay amount of damage, and only if you get Sap Sipper Choice Band boosting, it's going to be good pretty much, because Wonder Attack, you're going to need all those boosts to get the most out of it, but then you have it. Now you're Choice Banded, you're using Wild Charge. Problem is, your most powerful attack is the only thing you can use, and it's going to damage you with Recoil, and they can just bring in something that resists you really hard. So your options pretty bad when it comes down to this. And then if we run something like a Life Orb, so yeah, not much else, like Pursuit, but that's not something you want to like choice band. Life Orb means you can change into like Facade, maybe you get statused with a burn and then you have to use Facade or something. Really, Zebstrika, it doesn't have those physical options, so it falls flat. Now, Pokemon like Electivire, it's going to do a lot better. If you proc that Motor Drive, you give it speed, and then it overruns you with actual good coverage. It has Elemental Punches, it uses Earthquake. It can actually deal damage with that. Zebstrika really can't. So let's look at it from a special standpoint, which means now we're not a 100 offense Pokemon with 116 speed. We're an 80 offense, only 80 base special attack, so that means we're really going to have to push for that. Life Orb, Lightning Rod. So now we need to eat that electric type move, we need to boost for that Life Orb, and then we might have something. Now we have Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, stab, good amount of damage, 90 base power, doesn't deal recoil to us, so we are going to be able to hit with that. Hidden Power. You can go for Hidden Power Fire, you can go for Hidden Power Ice. If you can get a Hidden Power on it, then you're going to be able to do something. And we also have Volt Switch and Overheat. Now, Overheat is going to lower your special attack by 2, but if your special attack is boosted by 1 with Lightning Rod and you're doing Life Orb damage, Overheat might just find a raw KO, just boom, pure KO, tons of damage just like that. But at the same time, it's only there for coverage because of Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's going to be 135 power after stab, Overheat not going to be as much, so consider that. Then after you use Overheat, you drop down to -1 on your special attack, and then you go for Volt Switch. So Overheat, Volt Switch could find a KO, you use Hidden Power Thunderbolt. So if you survive a hit, you're actually in a decent position. So say you use Thunderbolt to pick off an opponent Pokemon, you use Hidden Power Ice, Hidden Power to get like that super effective hit, then use Overheat into Volt Switch, you might be able to clean up a KO and then pick up a KO on your own while switching out. Next time you come in, you just have Life Orb damage, a little bit of free damage. You don't have to come in on Lightning Rod on the second time. So you can find extra momentum like this, but it's very convoluted. I kind of like just zoned out to myself talking to that, because there's a lot of things that need to go right to make this work. On top of that, again, Timid Nature going to give you a lot of security, outspeeding a lot of Pokemon, but it is going to mean that you don't have as much special attack. However, with the Modest Nature, not that big of a boost. We went from 259 to 284, so I don't think that's going to help too much, and then that's why we just run Timid and hope for the best. Other than that, we also get Flame Charge and Endure. So if we want to work around Zebstrika, we can use Flame Charge or Agility. Pretty much the idea behind this is that it's our ability to gain speed. That against a Pokemon that's setting up, we use Agility, we use Flame Charge, we gain speed in some way. And then that means we can just run a non-speedy nature. We can go into Modest, or we can go into Adamant. I think Special is still going to be a better idea. And then we have Endure. So then we Endure and we go into something like a Patea Berry. So this is why I think Endure is strong. Endure into one of the berries is always going to be a really solid combo. So this way, if we come in on Lightning Rod, we get a Patea Berry proc off that Endure, and we also find an Agility while they're setting up. +2 on speed, +2 on the offenses, but it's not going to be insane. We're just doubling 284, and then we have Thunderbolt and Overheat, and that's kind of it. So Overheat does give us a little bit of room now, because lowering our special attack by 2, so if it's Grass-type Pokemon that's resisting us, we Overheat them, and then our Thunderbolt's still +0, so we might find a little bit of damage, but we are at 1 hit point. That's going to be Zebstrika. Again, the identity of this Pokemon really hinders it, that it wants to be a physical, fast, Electric-type Pokemon, but Electric-types just don't do that. And then we become a mediocre special attacker with a good speed, and not a lot of coverage in the end. So if you guys enjoyed the video, that's how you use Zebstrika, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.